My name is Maria, and you're listening to the podcast where we deconstruct someone's PhD experience so that you can reconstruct your own. This is a journey with many challenges, but you might find yourself in a similar situation as one of the guests here. Enjoy listening. Hello, curious researchers. Are you saying to yourself that you will find your career once you finish your PhD? And I'm not saying that you need to have it all figured out, because we have no idea where you are going to be in 6 months, in a year, in 4 years from now. But at least exposing yourself to what you believe is interesting for you. Are you aspiring to start your own company? Have you figured out during your PhD that some of your results might be interesting to start a company? If yes, why would you wait until the end of your PhD to figure that out? Who said that you need to wait until you finish to start your business? There are no rules. If this bothers you, might be because we are thinking of this linear trajectory, that we are doing a PhD, and then we are finding a job afterwards, and then. Let me give you the example of my friends who are programmers. A bunch of them started studying in Serbia. Then they reached the third year of the university, found an internship, which turned into a full job, never finished their studies, and that's it. But they gave themselves the opportunity to see how it is even during their bachelor, because who said that you have to wait for the bachelor to find a job? And also for the PhD, we think that this diploma carries so much weight and is going to bring us the job, that only then we deserve it. But who you are becoming in this process is more important than that diploma that you are holding. Because this diploma can be printed on any kind of printer, and your experience can never be replaced. Never, ever. There is no other person who has the same experience, who has the same background, who has the same qualities, who has the same way of thinking. There is no such person. And you decide when you're going to find a job, if you're going to continue the PhD, if you're going to quit halfway, if you're going to finish it and then figure out what you're going to do, or whatever the scenario you imagine. But why not play while you are doing your PhD and figure out what you're interested in? For example, the first episode of this podcast that I recorded with Valentina, she was doing a lot of assignments on the side where she would be writing pieces of articles for researchers or for some newspaper, or I'm not even aware of how many things she was trying out, but she was testing and seeing, does she enjoy being a communication and marketing person? And the answer could have been no. And that would have been amazing, because during that time when you have space that you can juggle different things, then you try it and then you already have a feel of what it looks like. And the amazing thing with a PhD is that you already have a feel what it looks like to be in academia. You see all these professors around you. For me, I understood that I'm never going to be a professor. Why? Because I saw all these professors who are running like crazy, who have no time, who are swamped with activities. And this was even subconscious. And I said, I'm never going to be a professor. Never, ever. Why the hell would I want this kind of life? And I admire the people who want to do that and who want to make it different. That is amazing. Have a look around yourself. Where do you see yourself? What are the role models around you? And this can be very twisted, because we see only one examples of people who do things a certain way. For example, I was seeing professors that are swamped with activities and having too much on their plate. And I didn't pay attention to those few who had it, quote unquote, easygoing, for whom it was a game. It was very flowy. They were going from one activity to the other without so much stress. And now I see those people. But the majority skewed my view. And only at a certain point I started noticing that, there are people who do things in a bit of a different way. So if you have a desire to do things in a bit of a different and unconventional way during your PhD, go for it. I fully support you. Whatever it is, if you want to take a sabbatical for 6 months and travel the world, do it. If you want to take an assignment and go work in a law firm while you are studying engineering, do that. If you see an added value for something, just go and do it. If you have the drive to do it, there is nobody else on this planet who can think this better than you, because you have this drive to put something in motion. Even you might be in a PhD project that was thought for you. So the drive came from an external party. And now you are there and you're trying to steer it and have your internal drive, but maybe that's not possible. So try to find maybe even mini wins and tiny occasions where you can really put your drive into action. And do you believe that you will just magically understand what you want to do when you're at the end of your PhD? Maybe you will, maybe you will not. That's why I invite you to schedule a discovery call and to discuss together what is it that you see, what is it that you are missing, what is it that you would like and you absolutely do not see in your environment. I would really love to support you and to share with you my own experience, what I have been through, what are the examples that I see around. Because, for example, the other day I talked with a colleague who is turning 30 now, who is defending thesis in 1 month, and this person feels like they have been a student all along, that the real life starts only now. This is amazing. It really amazes me because I have not felt this since I started doing my PhD. Also because my PhD was between a university and a company. So I was really keen on seeing how things work in a company in quote unquote real world. And also all the conditions were there. You might be paid like an employee and you get to develop yourself in a way that now you are outside of this very rigid academic system. There is a bit more freedom to the PhD, so you can also define it how you want it. There are not so many exams anymore to go through. Now it is really your prime time. And I really believe that this is a prime time because you are in your mid-20s, majority of you. This is such a beautiful time. Why wait that you are 30 and plus to figure out who you are and what you like? Doesn't make sense. If you already know that there is something that you are longing for, what's stopping you from going forward? And there are so many things that are stopping us, don't get me wrong, that there's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with me or with any of us. We are all humans and we all have different experiences that are skewing our view. But for that matter, I love to talk to people. I love to also put myself in an environment where people think differently. And I love to see the diversity and the beauty that we have all around us. And what's beautiful is that the other day, with my business mentor from Serbia, she gathered women who are doing their PhD or have finished their PhD and now are building businesses online. And there were a few girls who are now, during their PhD, in parallel, building their businesses online. And this was spectacular, really, really amazing also to see what people are doing during their PhD, experimenting. And even after, there were women who were working for 20 years in their domain. And then they have decided, okay, I had my fun, I had my prime time. Now it's time to do something different. And they feel so much alive when they speak. You hear them like there is so much life coming out from there. So it's amazing to see that people decide to do what brings them joy. So what is it that brings you joy? If the PhD has totally removed the joy from your equation, what is the way that it can go back? I would really love to discuss this with you. The link to the discovery call is in the description of this episode, and I will see you there. Thanks for listening to this podcast episode. If there was anything that you discovered or found remotely interesting, do share. I'm always curious to hear what is it that you resonated with. See you in the next episode.